All right, welcome to the summer months of the strangest year that you've probably ever had. I wanted to kind of reinforce some teaching, which is key whenever you're trying to learn something to a high degree. Sometimes it's good to go back and understand the why behind things. I actually watched a video the other day that talked about what I call muscle memory, but it discussed that it's not your muscles that are actually remembering something. It's that you've carved out a neuropath from your brain within your body that understands the motion that you're trying to take. And when you think about carving a path, think about like erosion, think about the Grand Canyon and how that has been carved out through so many years of repeated water that goes through the exact same direction, and all of a sudden it carves that path that it knows exactly where to go. And that's what you're doing when you're continuously redoing the same motion in an effort to create that pathway that teaches your body where to go. You know, when you start to fire energy and you're trying to do this specific skill, it follows that pathway better the more that you practice, the more that it knows where to go. So continue to build that, what we call muscle memory, but that pathway between your feet to your core, to your arm, and then also just like how you're transferring your ball from your catch to your shot, or from your dribble to your shot. So let's just go back and think about some of the things that we've already talked about and make sure that you're still working on those same drills to make sure that your pathways are good. So think about first flips, right? Continue to flip, not too much spin on the ball, but really how do we get our hands situated within that flip so that we have that good arm motion, that good wrist bend. Trash just came. Go recycling. Recycling just came. Go recycling. So make sure that we're getting a good bend in that wrist. You can see the wrinkles in the wrist is what we call. That lets us know that we've got a good tabletop set, and then a good U right here. Make sure that we have a good launching catapult from up above, right? We go down to the core. We talked about core workouts. Obviously, any sort of ab workout or squats or anything where you're transferring motion, even holding the ball over your head and running, is a way to strengthen that core and start to teach it some of these muscle memory, pathways that we need to use that for. The other thing that we talk about is your feet, right? So we have a drill that talks about how to get your feet going. And the thing that we discussed in our video has been the heel, ball, ball. And how do we get used to squaring our feet to our specific target and then getting that same tempo of heel, ball, ball. So some of the drills the drill that we talked about here was getting a center target, and then both off the catch, heel, ball, ball. And keep getting used to, as we go around, finding the place that we're trying to aim our feet and getting used to saying, okay, well, I'm going to be shooting in that direction. This is how it feels to square up from maybe coming around a screen or something like that. We also do that off the dribble, right? So when I transfer the dribble from my right hand to my shot, that's going to be a lot different than when I transfer the dribble from my left hand to my shot. There's just a different pathway, and we need to teach ourselves all of those different pathways. So we also talked about some different shooting drills that we have, and the idea of sometimes you're moving towards the basket, sometimes you're moving, you're going to be in a standing position in which you're just going to be shooting without a motion going either forward or backwards, mostly just up. And there's also going to be times where you're fading away, right? And all of those different motions require this pathway to decide, okay, do I need more? Do I need less? How do I aim my shoulders? What's the trajectory that I want to shoot with? Whether I'm going forward or going backwards, or I just catch and I've got a wide open shot. How does that look? What's the speed at which that I do that? So over the next few days, I'm going to be talking about screens, which is going to be hilarious probably with one person, but we'll do our best. We'll be talking about how to set screens, because it's important for a shooter to set a really good screen to create what the screen does, which is to create a decision point for the defense, right? You got two people that know what's happening and two defenders who probably have a scheme behind how they approach screens, but not necessarily your screen. So the better that you do it, you can look up a couple superstars in Stockton and Malone. The better that you set those screens, and that's mostly just a pick and roll idea, but there's a lot of different types of screens that you use to create a decision point for the defense, and they have to decide how that they're going to play that. The better that you make contact, the better timing that you have with it, the better understanding of what you should do and how your teammate offender knows what you're going to do in a situation makes it that much quicker, that much more seamless for you to take a shot, drive to the basket, or get your teammate open. So more of that to come. I just wanted to share with you some reminders of things that you should be working on. Never forget that even in this time when maybe it seems like maybe the season won't go on or your scoring record's at a concern and those types of things, that you just keep getting better. You know, remind yourself that I just need to keep working on the things that I need to work on, the things that I can control, because you can't control everything. And there's going to be these times of uncertainty, and you got to make sure that you make the most out of them, because some people are sitting and they're not doing anything at this time, thinking almost paralyzed by it. And if that's you, then you're not getting any better. You got to focus on every day a little bit better. All right, we'll see you soon.